Hey, I'm Brock with Brock Entertainment.
And I'm Amanda with Amanda Reed Weddings.
And this is the IDIQ Podcast, where each and every week we're going to be discussing the latest in wedding and event trends.
And we're going to let you know all the things that you need to know in order to make your event the most special.
Yeah, and in the end, you will have the best wedding and event experience ever.
And something tells me we're going to have a little fun along the way.
I don't know about that. I'm a pretty serious guy,
Yeah,
Amanda.
you kind of are.
And this is a serious topic, so only seriousness.
Serious business.
This is the IDIQ Podcast. Let's begin. Welcome to the IDIQ Podcast. I'm your host, Brock, with
Amanda.
We've been talking about this podcast for over a year now.
Well, okay, let's be honest.
Okay.
You've been talking about it, and now you've finally broken me down and gotten me to agree to it.
So originally, let's get the backstory on this. Originally, it was supposed to be a TV show.
I don't remember that conversation.
Yes, the whole thing was going to be a TV show.
I don't remember that.
And they were going to cut that up into a podcast.
Okay.
And then I just drug my feet, and it was a lot more work than
yeah. You finally
we had both
me down.
anticipated.
You've broken me down finally, though, I guess is what's happened.
Now we're behind a mic. We're recording this intro podcast right here, and we're going to talk about ourselves because we're in the wedding industry, and this podcast is for people who are in the wedding industry, wedding vendors, or couples that are thinking about getting married.
Yeah.
So it fits two purposes, or anybody who just likes weddings in general.
Love
but who
it.
just likes weddings?
I mean, I have had people ask me if they could be professional wedding crashers before. They're like, put me on your list. I'd like to know. I know you need hot guys at weddings to dance with the girls.
Right.
Can I be your crashers? I've had that asked before.
But do they base their asking off of movies they've seen?
Totally.
Because
it's like they
you
think
and I
I'm like
both
J-Lo.
know-
They think I'm J-Lo with the earpiece. And I'm like, it's so not how that
No,
goes.
not even a little bit. And everyone's like, man, when you DJ, is it a lot like Wedding Crashers? Like, I've never once had a Wedding Crashers moment. Maybe I'm a horrible DJ, but that's not real life, right?
It's true. I know. It's true.
The multitudes of beautiful women that are in every scene, that's not real life.
Not real life.
And if they are beautiful, they are married.
That's true. That is true. Or, yeah. Yes, you're right.
So basically this podcast, we're going to delve into everything in the industry. We're going to talk to photographers and other vendors, videographers, wedding venue owners and wedding planners. And you are a wedding planner.
I am a wedding planner.
And I am a DJ.
You are.
So, and we've been in the business. I've been in the business over 15 years. How long have you been?
I'm at about, I don't even know. I'm about 7 or 8 years probably.
Because I was at one of the first weddings
Yeah.
that you planned.
I think
Because
you
I
were.
think I have a picture of it somewhere.
Do you really?
Wasn't it in Rogers at the embassy?
I think it might have been.
Wow.
Yeah, I think
I
it
do
might
have a
been.
picture.
Yes.
And-
Unfortunately, they're still married, right?
Are they? I
think they
don't
are.
keep in contact.
I do.
I'm the DJ. I don't have that.
That's true. You don't have
interaction.
that relationship. Yeah.
Once the wedding is over,
Yes.
I'll send a thank you card, and then I'm done.
I should clarify that. The vast majority of our couples are still married.
I do
should
know
say
that.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
There's only been 2 or 3 couples that I've done 2 different weddings for.
Oh, I've never gotten the repeat.
Yeah,
I've never gotten the repeat.
Man, we loved you the first time.
Let's have you back.
That didn't work out. It wasn't your fault, but yeah.
That's interesting. No, I've only had I had one where the couple broke up. I told when she told me the story, they had just mailed invitations and everything and had to retract all this. And we spent all this time undoing what we had done.
Yeah.
And I just said, I understand. Let me be your first call whenever you find Mr. Right. And I was, so I didn't get to, it wasn't a dual wedding, repeat wedding, but it was like planning a second wedding with her.
Have you ever had a groom hit on you?
No.
Okay, that's
Groom's
good.
man is a different story.
That's
That's a given, I guess. But yeah.
But not a groom?
Never a groom. No. Mm-mm.
Okay.
Mm-mm. Sometimes I have a better rapport with the groom.
Yeah.
Not most of the time the bride and I bond really well, but sometimes, the groom has kind of a quirky sense of humor or something. And, maybe the bride's a little bit concerned about certain things. And, I can kind of see through and talk to him in ways that I can't talk to the bride.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've never had a really awkward encounter with that. No.
So we got a lot of stories that we're going to get to throughout this podcast. So many stories. I've been a part of probably, oh my gosh, close to 1,000 weddings.
Gosh.
Just because I can do 2 or 3 in a weekend.
Yeah.
What's the most in a weekend you've been able to do?
Company wide, we can tackle 3. Me personally, one.
Okay.
It's exhausting because it's it's an 18-hour day at best, and the way I feel on a Sunday morning, I'm zonked. I'm out. I'm out. I have nothing left to give. So 2 in a weekend is rough.
Yeah.
Rough. I have done that a couple times and that stuff. But yeah, I'd say, gosh, if I were to I need to add up my number and see where I really am. But say, 15 to 20, because there were a couple years where I did pretty heavily and I've really scaled back now, and try to spread out the work with my company a little bit better than just myself taking it all on. But I probably, oh my gosh, I needed the math on that. 300 or 400.
Yeah,
easily.
Which is a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of weddings.
It's a lot of brain power tied up in flowers and rentals and songs and playlists and all the people that go into that, food, all that.
There's a lot of back and forth with couples.
A lot of back and forth.
So that brings me to the first question, getting to know Brock and Amanda. So let's get to know you first. So you've been in the wedding industry, you said, about 7 years. Mm-hmm. What were you doing before you got in?
It's a really good question. I love telling the story.
And why did you get in?
And why? I kind of fell into it, honestly. Okay. So, a little bit of background on me. My degree is interior design. Mm-hmm. I graduated from the University of Arkansas, and I actually loved what I did. But I was working in Bentonville, had opened, I didn't open the furniture store, but I had become kind of the buyer and principal designer for a furniture company and loved it until I didn't. And I was like driving to Bentonville twice a day, they're in home every day. It was this is when they were building the bypass. It was still difficult. It wasn't easy drive. That extra 30, 45 minutes of commute, which I know we're so lucky it is, but it added a lot onto my day.
Right.
And I would call my mother every day and, I don't know what I'm going to do. Why don't you teach? Okay, well, so I got my non-traditional licensure. I taught for a few years, and I really loved it.
Where did you teach?
I taught at Springdale High School.
Oh, okay.
I did. I taught.
What did you teach?
Family and Consumer Sciences.
What?
I did. I taught Family and Consumer Sciences. So home ec is what
See, I'm learning everything right now.
Did you not know this about me?
I don't know very much about you at all.
Oh, yeah. I'm an enigma.
Your past life, I have no idea.
That's so funny. No, so that's my past life is that I was a high school teacher for a few years. And now, oddly enough, I've married several of my past students, which has been kind of fun. So they'll call Miss Reed.
Yeah.
So Miss Reed to do their wedding. But
doesn't that make you feel old?
Super old.
Like, yeah. You're not old enough to get married.
Right?
Get out of here.
I know. But now the funny thing is I was just a few years older than those students. And so they're my peers now. Yeah. A lot of them are my peers. And so let's see. I also coached the dance team. And so I was very involved in the school culture. And then I got pregnant with my first child. And I was like, okay, I am not down to put my daughter in daycare and then go babysit somebody else's kids.
Right.
I wouldn't say I did a lot more than that, but that's kind of how I had to break it down. I was like, she's more important and I wanted to stay home. And so I basically just didn't return my contract. My husband was not on board with this at first. I was like, I'll be fine. We'll figure it out. And, I did. I painted. I did kind of some, I've always been artistic and have had sort of just a passion for that. And I was decorating homes and things like that. And had a friend who owned an events business, and actually the wife of a guy that worked for my husband. That's how we got to know each other. He worked for my husband, and I just once said to her, I'd love to help. If you ever need an extra set of hands, I'd love to help out at an event. And she was kind of like, okay, well, if you think so, come on. And she brought me in, and that was one of the first weddings that we were at together. Within just a very short time, she was like, okay, I don't want to do weddings anymore. I want to focus on corporate. I want to focus on nonprofit. I would like to sell you this part of the weddings. I want to sell you the weddings business. I don't want to do this anymore. The weddings piece of it. Yeah. And very quickly, the whole thing took off.
It just kind of happened.
It just kind of happened. Rebranded, and things have, that's a very quick nutshell as far as how things have materialized. But that is, it was a crazy time. Yeah. Yeah. So that's the very, very short version of my past life.
And once you get into the wedding business, it's hard to get out.
That it is.
Because it's so much fun.
It is.
And while it is, especially in your field, a huge job.
Yes.
It's a very rewarding and, like I said, fun job.
It is. It's harder than people think. They don't think about the number. The communication that I have between each individual vendor on every single event. I might send 20 or 30 emails just to a florist regarding this, not to mention all the meetings in person, the cross-checking of the rentals versus the floor plan versus, all the pieces. Okay, wait, which bouquet was it she loved so much?
Yeah.
And what flower was it she hated? And, trying to make sure every little detail is exactly perfect. Making sure that all those vendors are in place and giving each vendor that needs it, you don't need as much. You're basically like, tell me the list.
You send me one email. Are you good, Brock? Yep. Great.
Good to go. I got this. And that's really, and there are vendors like that, but there are a lot that require a lot more hands-on. And so it's very time consuming. Yeah. And every bride deserves to feel that she's the only bride that I'm working with. She doesn't need to feel like she's being put on hold because of somebody else's. There are times when I have to do that. I mean, I definitely have. And thankfully, most of them are understanding because they know when it's their turn, I'm going to be completely focused on them. So, if I'm like, hey, I'm on a big wedding this weekend, I'll get back to you on Monday or Tuesday. Most of them are pretty great with that.
Yeah.
I do have occasionally somebody who'll just, barrage me with texts and calls and questions. But
where are you?
I need this answer. And I understand it though, because they feel the urgency of that. I mean, I've got a friend she's got a tile company. She makes reproduction tiles. And she goes, there's no such thing as a tile emergency. And I'm like, yeah, fair enough. I was like, but there is a wedding emergency.
Right.
She's like, I can turn my phone off and not answer it over the weekend. She's like, I see why you can't. I see why.
Same. Yeah.
These things completely take over people's lives sometimes. So, yeah.
Well, interesting.
Yeah,
see, we're all getting to know Amanda.
Well, tell me about you then, Brock. Let's hear your background, mister.
Well, I have always been into music. I've been a singer. I have a singing background. Been in radio since I was 15. And so what
does that mean? Since you're 15, were you actually?
I worked at a radio station.
Okay.
I had a radio station behind my house.
Oh, that's cool.
That I would go and.
Did you just throw the ball over the fence and say, "Oops, can I come over?"
Well, I met the guy at a parade in Southwest City, Missouri.
Okay.
And he said, "What do you want to do with your life?" But it was a dude, so he sounded, "What do you want to do with your life?"
Okay, a little different.
And I said,
"Not
I
the best impressionist."
No, a radio DJ. And I think at that time I was like 12. He said, "When you turn 14, 15, let me know, and I'll give you a job." So I did. And I wasn't like on the air or anything. We were more of a satellite station. So I did that, went to college. After college, I got a job at Arvest Bank and then was on American Idol. And out of that, because I wanted to be in radio, but unless you know the right people, it's hard to get into radio.
Really?
So out of that, I was interviewing with radio morning shows about my experience on American Idol. This was 2005. And met a guy at a radio station, and he had a DJ company locally and was looking for DJs.
Okay.
I'm like, oh, that'll be great. Never done it. Love to do it. No music. Kind of got thrown into it. My first event training, he had another one of his DJs equipment go down, and I ended up DJing the whole event.
Really?
I was never trained or anything. It was kind of crazy.
Okay.
And I remember the first wedding I did with him. Never had done a wedding. Never had really been to a wedding.
Sink or swim.
The wedding, it was at the old Clarion in Bentonville. Lasted 2 hours out of 5. Because the couple were like, hey, we want to get out of here. We don't want to have a party. We just want to go.
Okay.
Okay. And they did their first dance, and all 300 people that were there were like, all right, we're going to do a send-off. And the wedding was over.
Oh, my goodness.
And that was my first experience in weddings. So the only reason after meeting that guy and started DJing for him, I got a job at the radio station he worked at.
Interesting.
Which was Hot Mix at the time, and got a morning show. And the only reason I kept DJing, besides the fact that I loved it, is to supplement my income because radio DJs do not make a lot of money.
Okay.
And my thing was, I have to do at least one event a month to be able to pay all my bills.
Okay.
And survive.
Fair enough.
And have a little bit of money. So I would DJ for him on the weekends with his company. And then my personality and brand grew, and people started asking me, hey, we want you to DJ. And so I started stealing equipment from the radio station. We had 2 speakers, a microphone, like a small setup. No lights, though. There were no lights. So I had to buy a couple of crappy lights.
Yeah.
And would do events. I remember the first wedding I ever did on my own. I didn't even have a computer with a lot of music on it. I had an iPod.
Oh my gosh.
I DJ'd from an iPod.
I can only imagine how that.
And I made $500 at that wedding.
Wow.
And they thought it was great. I'm like, that was trash. It was so bad. They loved it.
They were so happy.
It was in Oklahoma. I guess they didn't know any better. And I mean, that's where the Tiger King lives. So do they really know any better? Sorry, all Oklahomans.
Brock loves Oklahoma.
I do. And then it kind of grew out of that. And I never meant to create a business out of it. I never meant to hire anybody, never meant to build a team, except I booked a Sweet 16 and my main job was the radio. So whatever the radio had me do was priority.
Right.
And I booked a Sweet 16 for a Friday, but a radio event came up. I'm like, doggone it. So I looked through my friends. I'm like, who has a great personality? Who knows music? Who could do this? And my friend Corey, I hit him up. I said, come over to my house. I'm going to teach you how to run my computer. You're going to DJ an event. Okay. And he ended up becoming one of the best DJs ever on my team. He has since passed away, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But he was awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And he moved to Tulsa before he passed away and became one of the biggest and best DJs there.
I had no idea.
In the country area. Yeah.
Very interesting.
This is a crazy side story, but he only started because I needed somebody to help me.
Sure.
And then it grew from there. Then I'm booking more and more weddings, more and more events. And like, well, there's 2 or 3 this day, you know? So I'm having to find more guys and train more guys. And then it just grew into Brock Entertainment.
That is fascinating.
And
I had no idea.
Started my own, you know, I quit with the other DJ company, started my own company. And then it grew from 2, 3 guys to now there's around 20 of us. But it all was just because I needed to supplement my income. And then I loved it so much that I'm like, man, I don't want to stop doing this, even though in this industry you sacrifice because you don't really have weekends.
Very true.
And
nobody seems to understand that Monday is your only Sunday.
Right.
They back to work.
Yeah.
I got back to work on Monday morning. So yeah.
So it was, I never meant to do this full time. It was never meant to be a career.
I can relate to that.
And
mine
now,
was kind of a fill. It was a fill for a little while.
After a year or two after starting this at the radio station, this made way more than the radio station. So the radio station just became a hobby because I was getting paid nothing. And then when I was finally laid off in 2011 from the radio station, it's like, oh, okay. Now I actually don't have to go into a job, which is nice. I can focus more on building this. And yeah.
That is amazing.
Brock Entertainment happened.
Brock Entertainment was born.
And now we do 300 to 500 events a year, I would say.
Crazy to really wrap your brain around that.
Right. Which is not just weddings, but lots of charity events.
Yeah.
Lots of birthday parties, you know, anything and everything. If people want music, we'll be there. We've done 1-year-old birthday parties.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because the 1-year-old doesn't really care.
They're not really,
But the family cares.
Family cares. You've done school events for my kids.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you show up and you do the job when I need you. So that's great. And
we're always, we're fortunate. We are almost always available. So we've gotten calls. Hey, the DJ didn't show up to our wedding. Can you be here? Like when? Now? Yeah, we'll be there, type of thing.
I was about to call you one. I've had a situation once, and I didn't have to. They showed up. I had a band that had gotten it was actually Stephanie's wedding, and she knows the story now. But we had a band scheduled. They call me, you know, about the time they should be there getting set up, and they're like, "Hey, they're on their way from Nashville. We have flat tire, some kind of trouble. I don't know what it was. We're on the side of the road. We're trying to get this figured out. Don't know what's going on." Meanwhile, Stephanie knows she's from my team. She knows that things go wrong, and she knows how to read me pretty well, better than anybody else. And she knows something's going on, but I won't tell her what. And I literally had pulled your number off on my phone, and I was this close to texting you and going, "Okay, get here, please. I just anything, because I don't have any backup. I don't even have, there's no sound system here even where I can plug in an iPod. I need music." So yeah.
Yeah, we've done that so many times.
Really? Have you? Yeah.
So many times.
Good to know. Brock for hire at the last minute.
Well, we have a lot of guys on the team, so.
And that's a blessing for that. It really is.
But
the rate triples when that happens. kidding. I'm kidding.
And if you're not willing to pay, then you don't really want to have a party, right?
That's right. Oh my gosh.
So yeah, this, I love being in this industry. It's a lot of fun. And I mean, in this area, Northwest Arkansas is where we both live. It's pretty tight knit.
Very.
You make friends with everybody and you help each other out. So
very much so.
Yeah, I'm excited about this podcast. I hope everybody listening is excited as well. We're going to delve into, we got so many stories because we've been a part of so many
crazy stories, but we will protect the names of the innocent.
Yeah. For
sure.
Happy stories, horror stories. But you know what? The best thing about you and, I like to say our team, if there's something that happens at a wedding, the bride and groom will never know about it.
Mm-mm.
Not
top secret.
Because a lot of weddings we don't have a wedding planner at, and we have to be the makeshift wedding planner and like, well, this is happening or this is happening. Okay, we'll just work through it.
Yeah. Which I totally respect. And I love that you're able to do that because I know how difficult my job is.
Yeah.
I don't want to add your job onto my job. So
right.
I can completely respect how difficult it is when you have to throw in an extra layer of work.
Right.
Sure.
So we're going to help other vendors with, some inside knowledge. And if you're planning your wedding, you're going to learn the traits that are, or the, what's the word I'm looking for? The things that are hot right now.
Oh, trends. There you go. Not traits. Trends. Like, where are we going with that?
Yeah, we're going to learn the trends, which you know a lot about. I'm more the music guy.
Yeah.
And we're going to help you plan your wedding. So it'll be the best possible wedding. And should you hire a planner or not? The answer is yes. It's always yes.
It's always yes.
Should you hire a DJ or a band? That's up to you.
That's up to you. I think but you know what?
That's interesting.
Well, that's an interesting conversation though, because that's one of the very first things I talk to a couple about. Is like specific vendors you want to use.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say it's polarizing because people don't get offended by it, but it's, do you like the atmosphere of a live musician or do you like the song as it's supposed to be played? And I think that's the big question people have to really.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that's kind of what it comes down to. So, I never want you to get bent because I didn't hire you for a wedding, but it's because they genuinely, it's the atmosphere of live music versus. Nope, I want the song as it's supposed to be. I want to hear, that artist sing their song the way they're supposed to sing it. So that's truly, to me, in my experience, what it's come down to.
There you go.
Yeah, there he is.
I don't have anything for a wedding planner.
Well, I'm sure you do.
Do you want your wedding to run smoothly or do you not? Yeah.
I would hope the answer to that would be smoothly.
Well, I'm excited about this podcast as we're going to have a lot of fun. And that's a little introduction about us. If you need anything from us, you can always follow us on social. We're IDIQ Podcast on Instagram and Facebook. Did you even know that?
I did not know that. Now I know that. Thank you for sharing.
So you can send any questions you might have, follow us, and we're going to have some fun. Are you ready?
Ready.
All right, let's do this.
Let's do this.
Thanks so much for listening, and make sure to subscribe and expect a new exciting episode each and every week. Please follow us on social as well at IDIQ Podcast. If you have a guest recommendation or a topic you would like to hear discussed on the podcast, please let us know. The IDIQ Podcast is recorded at the most amazing studio in Northwest Arkansas and by the most amazing and best looking people in all the world, Go Rogue X. You can follow them on social as well at Go Rogue X, or visit them online at GoRogueX.com. They truly are amazing, and if you're looking to start a podcast, they are your go-to people. Also, a big shout out to our creative people, David Kinney from Forward, all the way from the great state of Michigan. You can check his website out, theforwardcreative.com, for all your logo and design needs. And for more information on Brock and Amanda, please visit djbrockentertainment.com and amandareedweddings.com. Thank you again, and we'll see you on the next episode.